Hey everyone, it's Monday morning, November 18th, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Çela, and let's talk about the most important events in the days ahead. Before we begin, a quick note. Today's episode is sponsored by AMF Capital, Asset Management Frankfurt. For tailored investment solutions and top-quality mutual funds, visit amf-capital.de. First up, Nvidia. The chip-making giant will report its third-quarter earnings after the close on Wednesday, and all eyes are on this one. Nvidia has been the poster child for the AI boom, with its stock up a staggering 200% this year, even overtaking Apple to become the world's largest company by market cap. But with high expectations, there's always room for volatility. If Nvidia delivers strong results, it could reignite enthusiasm for tech and AI stocks. If not, we might see some pullbacks, especially with investor sentiment still shaky after last week's stalled post-election rally. Now let's talk crypto. Bitcoin is on fire, climbing above $90,000 for the first time. It's up 30% since the US election, and the entire cryptocurrency market cap has surpassed $3 trillion, about the same as Tesla, Meta, and Berkshire Hathaway combined. Much of this rally is driven by expectations of a crypto-friendly Trump administration, with promises of a national Bitcoin reserve and making the US a global hub for crypto. While these promises are exciting, we'll have to wait and see how realistic they are and when they'll actually happen. The US economic calendar is a bit quieter this week, but we do have updates on housing with building permits, housing starts, and existing home sales. On Friday, we'll get manufacturing and services PMI data, which will be watched closely as companies start reacting to Trump's proposed trade tariffs. We'll also hear from several Fed officials, including Austin Goolsbee, Jeffrey Schmid, and Beth Hammack. Their comments could give us a clearer picture of how the Fed is planning its next moves after Powell's cautious tone last week. Let's move on to oil. Prices slid about 2% on Friday, adding to weekly losses as demand concerns from China and a slower pace of Fed rate cuts weighed on the market. Brent and crude futures fell 4% and 5% respectively for the week. China's slowdown in crude processing added to fears about the global economic outlook, and the International Energy Agency is forecasting a surplus in oil by 2025. Meanwhile, Powell's remarks about taking a careful approach to future rate cuts are also adding pressure to energy markets. And finally, across the pond, the UK is set to release its October inflation data on Wednesday. Economists are expecting inflation to climb back above the Bank of England's 2% target, with a reading of 2.2%, up from 1.7% in September. The Bank of England recently delivered its second rate cut this month, but signaled that future cuts will be more gradual as they monitor inflation pressures. Governor Andrew Bailey and other officials will testify before Parliament's Treasury Committee on Tuesday, which could shed more light on the central bank's next steps. And that's your quick look at what's ahead this week. From Nvidia earnings and the crypto rally to US data, oil prices, and UK inflation, there's plenty to keep an eye on. Thanks for tuning in to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm Endrit Çela, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week.